All right, we're live. Thank you for joining us. It's been a while. We're bringing these back. We're relaunching this. Had a great conversation. My name is Matt Storms. Had a great conversation with Stash Mayer the other day, and when we decided to bring these back. And so we're going to have a few format changes. So for those, yeah, Barry, if you guys want to go ahead and flood the URL out there, go ahead and flood the URL, send it out, let people watch it. And all that stuff, and look forward to that. So here's the new rules that we're going to put forth. They're new directives. I don't want to say rules. I want to say they're directives. Basically, I don't want to talk about negative stuff. If your site's been under penalty and all that type of thing, if you've got negative things, you know, there's other places for that. There's tons of them. What we want to talk about is the positive. And somebody's got a really loud mic in the background. Want to go ahead and mute yourself?
That's me. I got it, sir.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
And so, there we go. Awesome. So much better. So, one of the big things is we want to talk about the positive. We want to talk about what strategies that people are doing. They want to talk about, you know, doing all the good things. We don't want to, you know, if you want to talk about penalties, if your site's under penalty, I understand that happens. We all understand that happens. That's going to happen. It's just natural that bad sites or sites that are semi-good, you know, even good sites can get under penalty for various reasons. There's other sites that you can go to. There's other Hangouts that you can go to. They're going to talk about that stuff, and there's other Hangouts out there that are going to help you. We don't really want that place to be this Hangout. We want to help you set strategy. We want to help you increase. We want to help you, increase your traffic. All those types of things. If you've done negative things, go. There's other places for you. I'll be glad to help you find them. I will be personally glad to help you find them. If you're watching this Hangout and you want to go to places like that, you can go to those places. So the whole format of this is that we want people to be interactive and to talk faster and things like that. If we come to a point and we're 20 minutes into this Hangout and people aren't talking, people aren't interacting, we might just say, okay, guys, I guess no one has anything else to say. We're going to say goodbye for this week, okay? So it's really important that you're here in the beginning of the Hangout at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're not here at that time, and we only go 15 minutes, we go 15 minutes. If we go 45 minutes, we go 45. And if we go an hour, we go an hour. So if you're going to be part of the Hangout, that's the rules, okay? Or the directives. I don't want to say rules. I'm going to try to get away from that. So if I say rules, stop me, okay? And so let's go ahead and do introductions. As I said, I'm Matt Storms. I live out in San Jose. I'm an SEO expert witness. I testify in legal cases, and I do SEO as well. In fact, I just wrapped up a big court case. So anyways, let's go ahead and go left to right, and I'm going to call you out by name. Barry, go ahead.
I'm Barry. I'm typically a very negative person. But we'll say opposite of positive because we don't want to say the word negative.
There we go. Baruch.
Yes, I'm Baruch Polonsky from Toronto. Help people succeed online, and company's growing.
That's great.
Very fast.
Sweet.
It's good to be back.
It's good to have you. Edward.
Eddie Eisen, Tampa, Florida, CEO, Active Media.
All right. Edward, I might have a lead for you for a local company down in Tampa. Hit me up after this Hangout. I won't work with them, but you might. I don't know. Robert.
I'm Robert O'Haver, Internet Ad Pro, and I'm a search engine optimization expert.
Awesome. And William.
William Rock. I've been doing internet marketing since 1998, conversion analytics specialist, and love helping other people. And glad to see the show back on.
Thanks, man. And last but not least, Wissam.
Wissam Dandan out of Daytona Beach, Florida, co-founder of GrowthGauge.
Outstanding. How is your other co-founder doing these days?
He is in South Carolina.
Oh, one of my favorite places. I used to live there for a couple of years.
Yeah, he's I think a speaker at Click Search Summit, something like that.
Okay, and he's still at Edmonds?
Yes.
Awesome. I know I will be speaking. We're talking about Eric Wu, and we will be speaking. I'm speaking with Eric in February of next year at eTail West down in Palm Desert. So it's a great conference. If you guys want to go to it, I suggest you apply to go down there. I think it's a lot of fun. And it's down in Palm Desert in February. It's warm. It's sunny, unlike 90% of the other code. So yeah. All right, other country. Okay, so let's talk about some news real fast because I think that's one of the easiest ways to get us started in different topics. And then we're going to go into new things that people are doing. Okay, I want to hear new strategies, or issues that you're working on that's going to help a company. So Barry, why don't you go ahead and start us off on some of the news points that you've been talking about in the last week or 2 weeks.
News points, but nothing negative, right?
Yeah.
I can't talk about a penalty that Google issued to a Google Capital-backed fund website.
While that's funny, and I think that could be in the miscellaneous folder, I don't know. Let's put it to a vote, okay? All right, so Wissam says yes. Baruch says high five. Okay, so Robert O'Haver says yes. Okay, so give us the spiel in the quick 30 seconds. What happened?
So a business directory company called Thumbtack had a strategy of basically telling their business listing companies to verify their business profiles by adding a snippet of code linking back to Thumbtack, but specifically with rich anchor text specifically to like a landing page. So if they were a plumber, they would say, all right, to verify your profile, use link to this plumber page, but use the keyword plumber. Nothing about no follow, nothing about whatever. And in return, they would give you back progress points. They were penalized, and the big important thing about this is that Google Capital, which is obviously a branch of, I guess, Google Ventures, went ahead and funded them back in the day. So they actually were penalized using a manual action for unnatural links pointing to their website.
Well, what I could do, for example, because I know one of the areas is restaurants, right? So what I could do is I could just call SRQ. And I could ask him.
Let me go ahead and mute Edward for a moment.
And I could use those answers
Those are good, yeah.
as part of the article. Obviously, only the.
Okay.
Okay, back into the article. Okay. That was perfect, actually.
I thought he was making a valid point to what you were talking about for a second, and then I was
Yeah.
like, no, this isn't what he wants to talk about.
Any event, so eventually so they first submitted a reconsideration request thinking that they did nothing wrong because they weren't paying for links, and then they're like, everybody's saying you can't do anything in exchange for links in terms of any type of incentive, which is kind of far-reaching for Google to say that anyway, but that's the policy. So then they sent out an email to all those people linking to them saying, please remove the link or add a no-follow attribute to the link, and hopefully they'll be adding penalties soon enough. The interesting thing will be, will they have to disavow the links in addition to everything they've done so far? That would be the interesting thing.
I think so, they will.
You think they'll have to,
Oh, yeah.
even after sending that email?
The smart thing would be to do a disavow on that, I think. Anyways.
Is that the smart thing? I don't know if it's the smart thing.
Well,
if you get away with sending that email and half of those people do not actually no-follow the link or remove the link, then your link equity to your site is still golden because Google, it was a manual action.
so then what Google could do and what they should do would be to set a part of the algorithm to affect that company to say if you have links going to this site, they're going to discount links.
Bottom line is that they will be watched very closely.
There you go.
You never know for how long.
And so I thought that was pretty interesting. So let's talk about some other things. Gary from Google basically told us what they call things. So they call the Google answer results where they scrape people's content in a positive way and show the answer to the searcher. They call those featured snippets. They don't call them Google answers. They call them featured snippets, where they have a database of information like how old is somebody or specific factual data where they don't actually source anybody, but they're just using the content without sourcing it. They call those knowledge cards. And they call live results, which I guess they actually license the content for weather and sports scores. They call those live snippets. So that's cool. And I think Gary wants to actually share more of what they actually call things. Do they call Panda Panda? Do they call different algorithms, positive algorithms or names or not? And that's what hopefully Gary's going to try to get us. So Gary also told us that the site name markup, which you see sometimes in the mobile results where it shows you the name of the site as opposed to showing the URL, cannot be used for subdomains. So it was funny, I actually posted Wikipedia as a screenshot for the site name markup showing, and Wikipedia technically is a subdomain, and I was wondering if anybody would pick up on me using that screenshot as a example of a subdomain. Sorry, it was a site name showing up for a subdomain, but only one person picked it up. So I guess Wikipedia is probably a special case where they could do things like that, but typically I guess you want to stay away from trying to use the site name markup or expect not the site name markup to work for subdomains.
Well, I think we all have to realize that Wikipedia is its own special case now, just because they're just so large and they're such a juggernaut. So yeah. But I did see about Wikipedia today that they are going HTTPS.
They are?
Mm-hmm. Igor Gagalik wrote a Google Plus post page on it.
And they did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So,
it's 301.
Yeah, it's live. You just type in Wikipedia.
So it's Webmaster World.
Yep. So, yeah, I think that's pretty unique, and I'm glad that they did that.
I don't know how much more you want me to talk about, but
Yeah, no. Let's go one more story, and then we'll dive into what new things that people are doing.
Barry, have you heard anything on who replaced Matt?
have I heard who replaced Matt? Yes.
Everybody has replaced Matt. It took that many people.
Well, they had different people replacing different parts of him.
Yeah.
One has his leg, one has his right toe. It's a whole complicated.
Yeah. From what I gather, it's about 20 people that have replaced him.
Well, they were there beforehand. It's not like they replaced him. So.
Yeah, they didn't replace him. They've taken his jobs, and basically, from what I gather, he is on an extended, long sabbatical now, which Google will actually do. With I met a guy a couple months ago who has been on sabbatical. He worked for Google, really big, high uppity up guy, and he took almost 2 years on sabbatical. And now he just went back to work for them. Yeah, so they can do that if they're major contributors to the company in the past. So yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, they can do lots of cool things. If you make Google $1 billion, they're pretty much going to help you out. They're just like that. Okay, so Barry, do you have anything else?
I got a few more things, but we could get into your stuff and get back to it later. It's up to you.
Okay, that sounds great. Okay, so let's talk about new things, unique things, or even just new things that people are doing right now to push the SEO envelope, so to speak, what you guys are doing or what you guys have seen people are doing. And would anybody go first, or would you like me to go first?
You go first.
All right. So I'm going first. You're going second, Baruch.
All right.
So one of the things that I've been working on lately is cleaning up or working on page speed for mobile. And I was able to find, if you guys have heard of Project Fi, F-I, that Google came out with a little while ago, they had on their website a map of the United States with all the cell phone coverage. And it showed like the 2G network, the 3G, and the 4G network. And I said, okay. What I did is I said, let's work on taking mobile page speed and making it load on a 2G network, because so many people in the United States are actually on a 2G network. And I know Barry says page speed doesn't do much, and I know that. But if you're international, if you're having a website where your website is accessed a lot in India and things like that, or Montana, which is mostly 2G network, or not even any of that. They don't even have cell signal as much. So what we did is we said, okay, let's work on taking site X and making sure that it renders very, very well on a 2G network. And we did that. And we actually saw an increase in rankings for mobile, which was quite unique. We were able to get the pages to move up in the United States. And that was a dramatic improvement for the site. It took them from about 100,000 visitors a day on mobile to just over 220,000 visitors a day on mobile. So it doubled, more than doubled their online their mobile traffic, because we dumbed it down, so to speak, and we cleaned that up there. And I love everybody. I know people who are watching the Hangout right now, and thank you for watching. You can't read the chat in here, but it is fun to read the chat and see everything in there every now and again. So that's something that you want to make sure you join the Hangout so you can hear the chat. So one of the things you really want to do is just think about your users. Where are they coming from? If they're using mobile, if they're using desktop. And so that's what we did. And I thought it was kind of cool that we did it, that we did do that test, and that we saw that it improved traffic, more than doubled. So, Baruch.
We're testing emojis before they go down the drain, before Google flushes down. It's not a negative, it's a positive. Yeah, testing the CTR on that.
So you're talking emojis in title tags, is that correct?
Title tags and so on. And what I noticed is in desktop there's no color, and mobile there is color. So for instance, if you're using like an airplane or something like different, just different little snippets, they come out in color in mobile, but not on desktop. So that's an interesting part. So we noticed a higher CTR on mobile as opposed to on desktop. And of course, we're doing like a lot of the server, reducing everything to milliseconds. Doing that, and then of course now we're having AdWords, so a lot of clients want both now. So I'm like, wow, it's shocking because I see clients want both worlds now. So they've adapted. They're like, oh, I just want organic. I want to rank just an organic. They understand now that AdWords is also important. So doing that, and then of course converting still people to mobile. Lots of people here in Toronto don't have mobile website.
Yeah, mobile-friendly website.
So still working on that, and then new clients, of course, coming from other agencies. Noticing the difference as opposed to previous agencies because they haven't touched on crawlers, they haven't touched on, all the necessities of what a site needs to look like right now online.
All right, Wissam. You want to go next, or do you want me to make William go?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
I think most of the problems I'm facing right now, not problems, but like a lot of research is app indexing. And especially, I mean...
Why don't you talk about that a little bit, because I haven't played with it that much, and I think maybe people who are watching or who are going to watch would be interested in understanding what app indexing actually is.
Okay, it's linking your web content to your app, linking to your app, the content that's in your app, linking it. So the specific instructions how to do so. Google started integration with Android, and right now they're accepting people to actually test their iOS integration with app indexing. And I think right now also Bing is on the bandwagon about app indexing using a specific service. I didn't get deep with the service using Bing, but we're still having problems like I had access to what they call the Google Search Console for apps before it went public, and we always had problem with URI unsupported type of crawl errors or whatever you can label it. And there's really not a lot of feedback or not a lot of what they call it community support in that field that can help you see, okay, if that specific person ran through the same problem and you can see how we can fix it. I posted in the forums at Google, nothing, no answers yet. So that's what been bugging me for the last week and a half.
So you probably want to talk to Maria Mova. Probably send her plus. She's not helpful.
Yeah, I'll try that. It's from Russia, right?
I don't know if she's based there. She's the Russian, yeah. But that's her.
Yeah, she always posts in Russian.
Yeah, so just Google Translate to Russia from Lebanese, wherever you talk, and see what happens.
Russian to Lebanese to
English
to
French.
To French, and then you'll understand it all.
The hi will be translated to bye.
So it's interesting. So right now, Google defines the app indexing as linking your app content specifically to web page alternatives, but you have to suspect that Google's going to drop that requirement of linking to web alternatives because there's so many apps out there that do not have web counterparts. Google, and with Apple, they just announced that for iOS 9, that they're calling deep linking, the ability to define what content is in your apps through obviously some type of protocol. And you can link to web pages if you wanted to, but it's not a requirement. I think the same thing goes with Facebook, but I think Bing does require you to link to web content as well. But I have a feeling you'll see soon from Apple or from Google that they're going to remove the requirement for linking to web, which will obviously open up your app content to a whole new world of searches.
I think it's very good what they call it, like a retention strategy for big companies right now, and they should take advantage of it right away. I mean, we did like small tests with specific section of that specific website, and other than it's a ranking signal, as you know, the app indexing. So there's more installations of the app, more search traffic, and more clicks, more everything everywhere. So.
Right. So I've been testing something really fun. So I have a Disney Mickey Mouse app, and I'm pretending that it's a Disney Mickey Mouse app, and the truth is it's really a pornographic app. And so that when kids try to search for like Disney characters, up comes this porn app, which is a lot of fun, bringing me back to the. No, I'm just joking. But this is like the things you can actually do with this. It's like SEO back in the days of.
Yep.
Although I'm sure Google's a little bit more savvy about this, so it would be interesting to see how people are, in a positive way, using it to leverage ways for them to finance their homes and pay off their mortgages.
But let me ask you, Barry, you've been working with it a lot, right?
I've been covering it a lot. I've been playing with it.
Yeah, so do you ever think there's a good idea to include in the Google Search Console, like like a robots.txt file fetcher or tester, like a manifest file tester?
I didn't get that. I didn't go into the actual code base with the apps yet, because most of our apps, at least here, none of them have web counterparts. Zero.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just waiting for it, for that to happen. And when it happens, that'll be pretty interesting, I think. But it is interesting that if you saw the new announcement around Android M, or whatever they're calling it, that the Google Now on Tap pretty much only shows you app content if they're using deep link or Apple link indexing, and why wouldn't they show the web? Why wouldn't they show web content? It's like Google's going to a strategy of saying Google Now on Tap is not going to show you web content. It's only going to show you content if there's an app that's using app indexing, which is very interesting. You think they would show web as well?
I think they're going more forward as no more lag. So they're trying to push everything as, not use the online, so the speed is faster, interacting with the app is much faster. So they think is like interacting with an app and proceeding is much faster than going to the web and waiting for that specific website to load and all that stuff and go through all of that. So they go through, Google Maps I think most of it is offline, right?
What do you mean? Google Maps it could be down. Yeah, I don't know if it's about that. I don't know.
I think I read something about it that they try as much as they can that the Google Maps be purely offline. You can actually go find the current location, do the GPS stuff offline without using
Right. That was like a month or two ago, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's mostly because of the countries that don't have great internet.
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it would be interesting to see how app indexing, linking, all that type of stuff, where it is in a year from now. There's been so much done now recently, but it would be very interesting to see how that works and how many people adopt it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's see, who else do we have in here to see what William? I want to hear what new things that you're doing, pushing the envelope and or growing traffic for companies. What new things are you doing?
Well, a lot of not new things, just consistent things, such as something I commented in the comments about site speed. For example, I'll use Google Analytics and just go right into a page that I know it might be having some issues, and they've got flags. I mean, you can identify that in Google Analytics pretty quickly. That a page is actually on high load time, and it doesn't matter if it's desktop or mobile. I think that a combination effort of having a fast loading page that converts is going to be the key. But the next thing is, the other thing I pointed out is looking at the quality score. Something I've done for a long, long time with Google AdWords is to identify the quality score of the page. When you're looking at a keyword that you're advertising for, if you're sending traffic to that page and that quality score is a 1 out of 10, there's opportunity there for you to modify the page, tweak it, make it convert. Right?
Well, my favorite thing is if you're a 1 out of 10, that you're usually paying at least $5 a click.
Well, you're gonna pay, I mean, they're still going to let you pay for that click, right, Matt? But they're not. They're going to charge you for it because your quality score is so bad. But at the same time, I think you would eventually figure that out and go, well, I don't want to pay that much per click. How can I actually pay less? And I think that's where the next question comes into the conversion analytics piece is, okay, I'm paying for this much traffic. If I'm paying, even at the mom and pop level, if I'm paying $100 a month for clicks, that's important. I only have $100. I want to get the best bang for my buck, get the most traffic, and convert that traffic. If it's not doing anything for me, why am I paying for it, right? So.
Yeah.
But you can also take that whole situation into the organic, because if you're optimizing a page, just like A/B split testing, you have the opportunity to now better convert by sending 50% of your traffic to test A, then test B. In a virtual environment, like you've got Unbounce, one of my favorite tools I've used for many, many years, and it's quick, easy. You can beta test it quick, send the traffic there on a subdomain. And now you can actually take that evaluation of what you've learned and back to your organic page. And now you're going to win both ways, paid and organic, because you're giving a quality score that's high. It's going to give that best user experience. And at the end of the day, you've got calls coming in, sales coming in.
I like it. All right. So, Edward, let's hear from you. So we were talking about new things you're trying to push the envelope with. What are you trying to do to help either you or your clients, or the websites you're working on, become better?
I don't know that I'm doing anything new, and by the way, thanks for coming back. I always enjoy listening to everybody's experience and what's going on. And I'm not ready for prime time today, working from home, just came back from a brief vacation. Sorry for no face. I don't know if there's anything new that we're doing. I'm actually been very frustrated lately and spending much more time in educating clients and communicating with clients much more than I'd like to because of certain issues. For example, because WordPress has become 27% of the internet, there are so many security issues right now, and it's just a very difficult time if you're trying to work in unison with clients that are developing content themselves, and you're handling some of the things or whatnot, and it's just a little crazy.
All right. Well, that sounds interesting. Yeah, it is crazy. There's a lot of new things.
And the other thing, I'm sorry, Matt. And
No, go ahead.
the other issue that I think I have is that it's just amazing how many people still really don't understand how the term search engine optimization has grown to encompass so much more than just some technical SEO, with things. And this is, it's almost like marketing and developing new clients has become 50% of the efforts you have to put in to do anything, in terms of the effort you put into the work that you do for them. And, it's just education and really working with these people is just incredible. I get clients constantly saying, well, some guy called me. He said he can guarantee that I could be on page 1 of Google, and it's only going to be $50 a month. And he looked at the website and he said, gee, I'm not ranking. And I'm like, wow, okay, let me spend a little time and talk to this person. But, yeah, it's just the world hasn't caught up yet with the reality.
Or there's the guys where you don't pay until you rank. Come on, like, how do you want, you don't pay until page 1.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's talk about WordPress real fast because I think it is growing. Edward, can you mute yourself there? Thanks, bud. You got a
I'm
reverb.
sorry.
That's okay. You got a reverb. It happens. So, anyways, WordPress is the major dominator player. All I work on, it seems like now, is either WordPress or custom CMSs. Every now and again I'll get Drupal, which why people use that, I just want to hit myself in the face repeatedly, but I'm already too ugly. So that being said, I love WordPress. I think it has some phenomenal attributes, but you got to make it secure, and you got to do all kinds of things with it just to make it work well. But it is much better than Drupal. Anyway, so let's talk about some other news real fast. And if nobody has, actually, real fast, does anybody have any questions as far as what they need help with or anything like that? Barry?
I have an algorithmic action that degrades the positive nature of my website.
Well, Barry, I'll help you find another Hangout that's going to be just specifically for you.
Okay.
All right. One of the things I am thinking of doing, actually, so just keep in mind, we're going to keep this positive, but we're also thinking of splitting another one and making another one that talks about all the negative stuff as well.
Oh, I want that one only. Can I just be the negative one?
How about we make you the guy in charge of the negative one?
I'll be number 1.
Number 1 subscriber?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. There we go. So, but we're still thinking about that, so if you have any ideas, yeah. So, William says he can talk about security in a positive way. So, William, I would love to hear you talk about security in a positive way, and then we're going to talk about some news, and if anybody has any last things, then we'll go with that, and then we'll shut it off for the day. So, William, go ahead with some news, or some security, I mean.
Okay, so to go back to the recent comment about WordPress, we all know everybody uses it, Drupal, Joomla, all those different things, but just being able to have that additional layer of security, that protection. One of the companies I have actually used in the past for a very long time is a company called Security.net, and it's actually helped a lot of people fix the problems and just identify problems, because you're actually putting your DNS record into, well, it's complicated, but it's simple on the fact that they scrub everything. And they're looking for malware detection. They're looking for anything that's going to be potential attack, SQL injection attack, all those different things. It's kind of like the ADT for your website, really. But it's not that expensive. I mean, there's no affiliate program to this thing, so basically I don't get paid for it, but at the same time it's only $299 a year. I mean, it's like your SSL key, just pay for it and get it, and then get the notifications to your email and your text message. I mean, know before you get hacked. Is that positive enough?
I think that's good.
Okay.
I I think everyone should have a secure website. I don't really care about Google ranking because I haven't seen a ranking improvement. I know Barry's written about this. I haven't seen it yet. Google's just saying do it, and so a bunch of sites I did do it, but I did it before they even announced it, just because I wanted stuff to be secure.
Everybody was kind of going after that simple ranking, Matt, and what I have found is, if you have a WordPress or a Joomla or a Drupal, you still have a backend admin.
Yep.
At least put an SSL on that.
It's not nice. It's really just not nice. These people want to get into your servers. They want to spend time with you, and you're just blocking them out. You're locking the door, and you're not inviting them back in. It's just not a nice thing to do. We're about a positive show here, and if I knock on the door and you wouldn't let me in, that'd be insulting.
Keep the door open also in your house, Barry. Just keep it open. Let everybody.
I do. Whoever wants to come over, I'm very welcoming.
Barry, can I have the password to your website?
Sure, no problem. I'll give it to you.
And Barry, can I have your password for your Wi-Fi connect in your house?
Here's my FTP login box.
Sorry.
And your social.
Negative. I'm going away.
And your social. Basically, that's like it. Is if you don't secure your website, it's like throwing your social security number out there. People are just going to screw with your website. They're going to screw with your life. So just make it secure, and it's going to make you much happier in the end. Yeah, it's kind of a headache to jump through and do a certificate. It'll take you a few hours if you don't know what to do. If you do know what to do, it probably will take you 10 minutes. So you have to think through that. All right, go ahead, Baruch.
Well, I'm not endorsing them or anything like that, but there is a really, really cool company out there called Encapsula, and I suggest you check them out. If you are bothered by other, can you hear me?
Yeah.
If you're bothered by other places, other countries not to enter your site without harming your rankings, or should really try them out. Different from Cloudflare, but on a different scale.
Okay.
So yeah, top-notch security there.
Awesome. And Barry, why don't we talk a little bit more about news, and then we'll talk about any other questions that people have, and then we'll cut out for the day.
Okay. Miley Cyrus was nude this week.
Okay, so I have to ask, how does that relate to SEO?
Some people were upset that nude Miley
Well,
Google News.
Matt, it does relate to SEO, and
Okay.
I would like Barry to share the link, please. Thank you.
I'm sure you can go find it, just like you can probably go find a picture of LeBron James's junk. That accidentally got out on TV last night because a cameraman was a little too close.
I did not notice that, but I'm glad you did. Yeah, no, because people were upset that it showed up in Google News, and people clicked on it looking for Miley Cyrus songs, and they got new pictures of her or whatever. So some people are upset. The Danny Sullivan covered at XMX Paris that Google search, mobile search, is actually pretty cool, very much more knowledgeable. So you could be standing in front of the Eiffel Tower and just say, how tall is it? And it's going to know you're in front of the Eiffel Tower. You can be in front of a restaurant and say, what are the hours? And it'll tell you the hours that the restaurant's open. I wonder how that will work in Times Square, but it's just pretty interesting to see how far Google has come with their search features, especially the voice search features. And for some reason, the Google search team, at least the head honchos of the Google search team, went to visit China this week, or Beijing, and they went to the third largest mobile distributor, mobile handset distributor, which is run partially by Hugo Berra, who used to work at Google on the Android team, who got in some type of scuffle with Larry Page when he was dating, I forgot her name, and there's a whole scandal between Larry Page cheating on his wife, and then I don't remember all that. But staying positive, it looks like Google's search team went to China maybe to figure out mobile better, because mobile has been still a very big challenge, not just for Facebook and Twitter, but a very big challenge for Google still, even to this day. So the question is, I guess, what are they doing there, and what are they trying to learn, which would be pretty interesting to see. I guess we're going to see more things from Google on mobile going forward. So there you go.
Sweet. Yeah, I know a bunch of the guys are over in China this week. so I can't talk to them right now, which is kind of a bummer. They said they're going to be offline. I said, oh, that's a shame. So I have a quick question. Have any of you been to the Google Forms lately? Do you like the new layout and design of them?
I dislike them.
No, I don't. I like the classic one.
It's very negative. It's for finding negative.
Do you like the classic one?
I like the classic one.
I don't like any change.
Yeah.
I'm really liking the new format that they've got, but there's still like a lot of bugs in there that they're fixing them so fast. There's as a RS and TC out there, you can see all that and you can add all that, and then there's also a spot I think for others to comment that are not RS or TC that they see bugs. So Barry, if you see bugs, definitely push them in. I've put in a ton of bug fixes. Like right now, if you look at me on the forums, my profile is a bluehead. Even though it's pulling from Google Plus, it's still a bluehead, but that's something that happened in one of the updates. So they're working through it, but I think that the notifications are awesome for us as RS, but there's definitely just in anything that Google does, it's always an opportunity for improvement, right?
The funny thing is that Barry probably remembers. See, there's the new version, there's the previous version, and then there's a version before that.
Yeah.
I missed the old version.
Oh, there he is.
Well, it was also a simple view, Matt. I think it was what Barry's going after is you can quickly identify, and this is something when I go through and I filter new comments, right, or not answered comments, as well as new posts, and I can see what's trending and what's not. I don't have that long list before, or like I have had before to now. I'd love to see the opportunity to be able to just not see. Well, it's difficult. I've got a lot of opinions on it. Sorry.
Okay. Well, with that, and sorry you just joined us, Josh. So the new format is that we're only talking about positive things. We're only talking about new things that people are doing, and we're talking about pushing the envelope as far as SEO goes to do new things to help our clients. We don't care about penalties. We don't care about anything negative. So that's the format we're sticking with. And the other format is if nobody has anything else to add to the Hangout, then we leave early. We're not going to stick around for a full hour and try to stretch the subject out because there's no need to do that, I think, anymore. I used to try to do that, and it was painful and it was taxing, I think, on not only me but for others who are participating. So last thing, does anybody have any other things they want to add to the Hangout before I shut it down?
I think Edward had a question.
I just had a quick question. Just as was an offshoot of what we were talking about with some of the issues that I've been dealing with clients and their WordPress security issues. But I'm just curious, like when a site gets blacklisted on the blacklist servers for spamming, how does that affect us in terms of traffic? Obviously, it starts to affect us in terms of speed. I mean, this is a serious issue, these security issues, because they affect all kinds of different ways in the website. But I'm just wondering how, I've always wondered, like, if your site gets blacklisted for spamming, how does that really affect you in terms of traffic and traffic coming to your website?
So if your site is blacklisted by Google, is that what you're saying?
No, you know how if you're a spammer, you get blacklisted on the blacklist servers, the servers that monitor whether people are spamming or not. That's how they get all the information collected worldwide so they know what's spam and what's not spam. I just wondered how that may affect rankings, if there's any correlation between those two things. I mean, obviously, I would imagine if somebody is phishing and doing spamming and things like that, that would affect them.
I don't have an answer.
Wait, if that's a negative question, let's just bypass it.
Well,
No, I don't think it's negative. I just don't have an answer.
I've got the answer for that one, I think. I hope. There's a lot of different filters out there that Google's employed throughout the years, and we've seen that through, you just pull up, Google algorithm updates, and you can see a lot of different things that point to that. Even Gmail with its phishing, you can report that within Gmail really quick. It goes through a list. And the list that you're probably talking about, you actually do what's called, there's a test, you can scan VirusTotal. VirusTotal.com will actually run through everything. It identifies the list you're on, as well as security. Security will do the same thing. When you actually scrub your domain for free, it will actually just go out and it'll tell you all the blacklists you're on. How do you get off of those? It's pretty difficult. It's taken years of other people to get off of that, but it makes it more difficult for those people to stay in the rankings. So to answer your question, those are portions, I believe, that are in the algorithm identifying those pieces. It's kind of like a knowledge graph. I mean, it's looking at all data sources, including email spam to link buying to comment, duplicate content, all sorts of different levels of what Google's looking for. So I think yes, it's going to affect ranking. Now, how do you get out of it? Clean it up.
Right, and that's something like, and I just want to say that I'm very lucky, I guess. One of our clients got hit very bad by a security intrusion. I still don't know what it was, if it was a bad plugin or a bad whatever, or somebody gave their password out, or it was, what do you call that when they...
So what will happen in the search engine is you'll see that your client will end up going, if you do a Google search for that client, you'll see that this, right underneath the result, it'll actually say that this has been blocked for malware or has possible malware.
Or this site has been hacked. There's different...
Right, and none of that happened to this particular client, except that they really just basically fell off the grid, and all their index pages were gone because of trouble reaching the site, because the timeout for pinging, okay? And so I rebuilt everything and fixed everything, and I'm very lucky that I contacted the reputation controls and explained it was a hack and blah blah blah, and we cleaned it up quickly and got them right back into indexing and ranking again for some of the terms that they were ranking before. So we're very lucky, but it's a serious kind of issue to explain to people, to understand, like, this is serious stuff. Like, you just don't go grab some WordPress thing, spit something out, and think everything's wonderful now. It's working.
You definitely have to check the plugin updates, especially where I find a lot of clients having issues. And I hate to go negative here, but they forget a lot to do their updates. I mean, if you look at the spectrum of WordPress today, you can go all the way back to some of the oldest updates, and they're still running.
Sadly enough, I don't think that's negative. I think that's just staying on top of your site. I guarantee you, when an update comes out, 90% of the people out there don't update their site. What WordPress should do, and all the other CMSs should do, is send you an email when there's an update. If someone out there wants to make the most awesome plugin, make a plugin to let me know that a plugin needs to be updated.
Well, and that's where I get those updates from. You guys know me. I prefer Joomla, even though it's not that secure either. There's secure WordPress. Any CMS out there, Concrete 5 to WordPress to Drupal, but the same thing. Update, and then think about your plugins, right? I mean, your plugins also have notifications. You've signed up to download them. Those guys should be actually doing the same thing, Matt, just giving the updates and saying, hey, notify me when your update change or your plugin or extension changes. But most of the time, you're not going to get that, and half the time, they're going to go to spam email anyways.
Some of my clients, I have to go through 5 channels to go for an update because they have the password protected. So I have to go through all these channels, and my God, just for update a couple plugins, it's crazy.
You're right, and
so Barry, real quick, Barry, how about you make a plugin for people in WordPress and all these other CMSs, so that way it'll allow them to know that they should update their plugins because they have a plugin that's out of date.
I just had this conversation with you.
Well, the other thing that I find agencies have problems with is updating clients' websites because they're in fear of damaging the template. And so they just choose not to actually update the version of that WordPress or Drupal or Joomla, just because if they break it, then it's going to actually cost them more money because they actually have to rebuild it, which understandably it does break. So having a backup is essential. When you do actually do an update.
Actually, you know what? It's better this way because if the guy internally screws up, it's his fault, not mine. So it works, Let him do it. Let him update. I'm just a reminder.
Well, but the agencies, they need to actually start focusing on these updates. They run so many companies, and the companies don't necessarily know that they're at risk. You know,
It's scary.
it's more of an ethical thing at that point.
All right. I think we're good for the week. I think we've dragged it on long enough. I think we can move on. Everyone go out and have a great weekend. Go do something. Go party. And we'll see you back here next week. And yeah, hopefully next week, maybe I might have my new desk. I'm getting a treadmill desk.
Nice.
Wow.
So been wanting one for a couple of years and finally got it.
So are you
So
going to do the incline, or are you going to go like incline, or are you just going to stay steady?
it stays steady. It's a flat desk, and I'm getting a new monitor for it. Nice big fat monitor, and getting that along with a bunch of other tools that I wanted. And so I'm finally upgrading and supersizing. So it's exactly what I wanted to have.
Good, very good.
Congratulations.
Thanks. So hopefully I'll be walking like 20,000 steps a day, and yeah, instead of the normal like 2,000 steps that I get in, and I'll be able to shed weight a lot faster. So that's what I'm hoping for. So anyways, have a good one, and yeah, Barry, let me hit you up here in like 2 minutes, okay?